Hi, I'm Alex McCord, and welcome to The Real Deal on thestir.com. Today we have Season 6, Episode 6 of The Real Housewives of New Jersey, Season 9, Episode 18 of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and the season finale of Botched on E! Now, we also had a new episode of Don't Be Tardy last night. Bravo can't seem to decide where they want this show to live. I'm going to hold it until its regular time later in the week. So, first, New Jersey. There's a lot of evergreen family stuff going on this week, and frankly, that thrills me because it's the family stuff that keeps the show overall from getting too dark. Rosie introduces her girlfriend, Gia turns 13, Melissa and Joe talk garbage, and Teresa and Reno expand their business. By the way, if Rosie gets married, she could become a full-on housewife and have the first lesbian wedding in the franchise. I mean, maybe even a spin-off. Just saying. But let's get to the drama. And the drama this week is between Amber and Nicole. I feel like the producers hit the reset button a little bit this week, don't you? Somewhere, someone consciously tried to level the playing field. So I'll ask you, did it work? This week, Nicole got tweaked in the edit a little. She's shown talking about how serious she is at work and how she needs to make a man's salary. All the while, she's flitting around her office, playing with pens, playing with the windows, making people stare at her, and having a very loud personal conversation on speakerphone. That conversation, of course, is with Amber. Speaking of whom, what I said last week is already happening. Amber has been isolated from the group, and that is a place no housewife wants to be if she wants to keep her job. Behind the scenes, I'm sure that a producer said to Amber, "Fix this." She may have said, "Well, it's not my job to fix it. I didn't start it. I'm not the only guilty one." They might say, whatever your truth is doesn't matter. They're isolating you, so it's on you to fix it. They might also be egging the other ladies on, saying, well, if you don't want to see her, you don't have to film with her. And clearly, no one's filming with her at this point. Nicole, on the other hand, probably believes she's in the right and thinks she shouldn't have to make the call. But somebody has to. So behind the scenes, somebody brokered a summit deal and Nicole agreed to make the call. Neither of the girls wanted to make the first move. But now they're there in a coffee shop like so many other housewife sit-downs. Both ladies looked so uncomfortable, and I think they both had stage fright. And I don't blame them. They're first-year cast members. I'm not sure if we've ever had a big dramatic sit-down between two first-year newbies this soon into a season. And for that reason, it did kind of feel a little silly because we, the viewers, are not that invested in them yet. We aren't laughing and dying and crying with them all. Who are these two new people and why are they facing off each other? Thank goodness nobody stormed out because that would have been too over the top. They agree to make up with more disclaimers and qualifications than your average prescription drug commercial. Which takes us into next week. And I'm scared already because apparently we're about to learn who broke up the other twins' marriage, Teresa. Next, on the Kardashians, there's trouble in Momager paradise for Kris Jenner, and I'm wondering whether she is taking a dive on TV to repair her reputation. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Kris has had a rough year. She has a marriage in limbo, a failed talk show, and she has lost the biggest moneymaker of her daughters to an even bigger control freak manager, Kanye West. With all this, it's time Kris got humble and got advertisers and deal makers to love her again. What better way than to make the audience sympathetic? Okay, so daughters, let's all pile on to mom. First, it's Khloe. Khloe feels that Kris, as her manager, is not giving her enough attention compared to Kim and Kourtney. And it's exacerbated by Kris no-showing for Khloe when she guest-hosted Chelsea Lately, doesn't vet questions for an interview, and culminates in Khloe screaming at her mother that she needs a better manager. Then it's Kim. Kim wants Kris to stay 100% out of the wedding plans. Go away, stop it, don't get involved. But Kris can't help herself. She bamboozles Kim's assistant into giving her the phone number of the wedding planner, then calls up the wedding planner and says she's getting involved. In response, Kim moves out and stops taking Kris's phone calls. I mean, what do you expect? Eventually, they get together for a family lunch, where we learn that the manager wants to be managed. Kris tells Kim that instead of telling her to butt out of the wedding plans, she should say, "Mom, I want you to be surprised." Right, so the controlling momager also wants to control how her daughters manage her. This makes me laugh. Does it make you laugh too? So the other major plot point this week is the introduction of French Montana, whom we all know Khloe's been dating. We see Kim and Kourtney dig for details throughout the hour, which ends in Kim stalking Khloe in the parking lot of a club where she thinks they're both going to arrive. Before Khloe and French show up to be busted by Kim, Lamar Odom, Khloe's estranged husband, arrives at the front door and proceeds to wait in line with other clubgoers. This was either a ridiculous coincidence or set up by producers. And I know you all know I love to smoke out a setup, but I don't think this one was. Now, of course, it's possible that producers reached out to Lamar and suggested he show up at the club in order to confront Khloe and French. And of course, if they were going to do that, they would do it on the night that Kim is there as well. But guess what? If it was a setup, there would have been a camera on Lamar. They would have had footage of his face. He would have been wearing a microphone. So, as much as I would love to think that this was dreamt up in a production meeting, I don't think it was. I think it just happened. And, frankly, things just happening are what make reality TV still interesting to watch. And finally, it is the season finale of Botched, and the producers keep keeping it interesting. I mean, we've all seen that there's a formula that's developed. There are 3 patients, 2 get surgery, 1 gets rejected. So of course I spent the first half of the episode trying to figure out whom the reject would be, only to realize that everybody gets surgery today, 10 years after Oprah gave everyone in her studio audience a new car. This time it's surgery. You get surgery, and you get surgery, and you get surgery. So first, there is Monique, the transgendered patient. She wants her ears fixed, but I had truly thought doctors Paul Nassif and Terry Dubrow would reject her. I thought they would say, you need to fix everything else before we can think about your ears. They kept talking about the liquid silicone they had in her body, which had migrated all over the place under her skin, and I thought they wouldn't take that risk on television. But they operated, and yes, they did find loads of silicone, but it turned out well. And actually, taking everyone was a really smart move. You don't want the more flamboyant potential patients to be scared away, because if all of them are rejected, they'll start to understand the formula and new people will stop applying. So with season 2 happening, it is the right thing to do to take some of these over-the-top cases. There's also Maisha, who got bad Restylane injections in Mexico for $150, and this is where reality TV teaches us lessons. Don't get plastic surgery if it costs $150. If it won't buy you dinner, it won't buy you new eyes either. Surgery is never not a big deal, but this one seemed like an easy grand slam, and Maisha walks out of there gorgeous. Finally, after scaring us, sickening us, and making us laugh at times, we have a Hollywood happy ending to season 1 with Kelly and her cleft palate. She crops herself out of every photo. She's never had a proper wedding, but she would like to renew her vows and take pictures. I think this is the most excited I have seen the doctors all season. They know they can make a huge difference, and they do. And everybody is happy. She gets her wedding, and it's off to season 2. So what do you think? Are you excited for the next season? Let me know what you thought in the comments. For now, I'm Alex McCord. You're watching The Real Deal on thestir.com. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, and I'll see you tomorrow.